All right, and let's talk more about this proposal to scrap Nairobi as a county and have it as a national capital city. Joining me in studio is Chege Mwaura. He's an MCA in Ngara ward here in Nairobi County. And also we want to hear part of your thoughts, not some part of your thoughts, but your thoughts on this particular subject. Do you support the proposed bill to scrap Nairobi as a county? Do you support that proposed bill to scrap Nairobi as a county? Share with us, get involved in the conversation at KTN News. At Sophia Wanuna is where you can tweet us tonight. Chege, thank you so much for making time for us tonight.
Thank you.
So, your thoughts on this bill?
Well, I think it's healthy for purposes of debate and critically looking at how the counties have performed in terms of managing the affairs of the county. Of course, for Nairobi, there's Article 184. Provides for the urban areas and cities article that says that there should be an act that should be able to give us a direction of how we need to govern an area like Nairobi. So if you look at the proposal from the senator, I think it's a bit premature because it's even the first term. I don't think we've been able to adequately put this article into use and to ensure that the county has even given the provisions for running the county as within the provisions of that law.
Some of the issues being raised is that Nairobi has an enormous budget. The cost of running Nairobi is too high. That there is a need for neutrality, and so politicking and it being part of the push and pull is not healthy for the country. Do you buy into that argument? Well,
again, you'd also argue that even Nairobi is also one of the biggest contributor in terms of the national budget and in terms of the GDP of the country. So I think I know probably his direction would have been having comparisons with cities like Washington.
Yes.
But then Washington is also a district of Columbia. It was carved out for purposes of being a national, for purposes of ensuring that there's a center for the national activities. Maybe if we carved out as a district, that we should be able to cater for issues for the national, then maybe we would have looked at it into that. But then again, there were experts involved in the constitution making. They, of course, must have considered Nairobi. What was their input then? Where were the provisions for representation of the people and the voice of the people right from the Senate if we are going to go for a referendum to only critically look into one county?
Yeah, this would mean, in essence, if you were to go for MCA again, you're in essence out of a job. Unless you vie for a member of parliament, because Senate will be scrapped, there will not be a county assembly.
Well, I'm not here to defend the position of MCAs with it, but then again, we need to look at what is the bill trying to cure. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Kenyans or Nairobians would want representation right from the ward level to the constituency level to even to the county level. So if the proposal is to remove a governor who is elected by the people and place it under a minister who would be an appointee of the president, then again I think we are returning the gains of devolution back to the center, which what devolution was trying to remove in the first place.
Yes.
So I think it's an issue for debate and it's a healthy one. I think we need to look at it. But then again, a bigger question would be, are we going to, if it were to go to the referendum for one county, maybe we would have looked at all of them and see how best to look at the critical elements of how the funding structure is and the viability of all these counties.
Yeah, you talk about it as a healthy debate. For a citizen in Nairobi watching and listening to this conversation as far as whether to scrap or not, what is it they'd be gaining or losing?
Of course, they will be losing a voice in terms of representation, because if you look at the memorandum of Senator Kimbi's amendment bill, it talks of it won't affect representation, but then also just says up to the National Assembly. However, representation is right from the ward level to all these levels up to the governor's position. So if you were to compare, probably would compare it more or less with the New York and all, because there are all these provisions that happen that if Nairobians in their various estates and in their various corners would want a voice, they still have a voice in the name of a county assembly, and in still one general one in the county, in the national government, and probably in the Senate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure having you with us on KTN Prime. Yes, indeed, it was. And we want to hear from you.